place to be. What up, shorty? You looking good? Check it. She said she love me, she love me not. She said she love me, she love my knots. She said she love me, she love me not. She said she love me, she love my knots. She said she love me, she love me not. She said she love me, she love my knots.
I think ever since getting involved, it just hasn't made sense to do anything else. Like once I actually got involved by accident, and then when I was, actually doing political work or trying to make effective change, it seemed as though all other avenues that I found for making change that aren't through organizing, a lot of them are valid, but especially through working at Ohio State and being a student at Ohio State, nothing else really seemed to be really effective at producing change. The question was, why do I do it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot lately too, and how to answer it more than just, it's just the right thing to do, because that just seems to be the most logical answer to me. But I know that I have the ability and I have the time, and as somebody who is born with a whole lot of privilege, I don't want to be somebody who just continues to benefit from that privilege my whole life, but I know that I want to do as much as I can to make sure that the opportunities that I've been afforded, just based off of things that I was born with, are afforded to everybody.
I grew up, I think, in a pretty liberal background, in just like my neighborhood or whatever it is. Specifically, my family. My family, I think, entrenched a lot of values in me. The whole quote that I try to live by is think globally, act locally. So those things are kind of always in mind, and I've sort of taken a different angle and always tried to, I guess, focus where I am locally and see what we can do here. Along with those values that my parents instilled in me, I think was a pretty strong work ethic. I was like eager to start working as soon as I could. From a young age, I had this kind of drive to really want to work, and I found dignity in that, but I also found that there was injustice and exploitation that happens at that. And I think from that very beginning, thought that like labor issues was something that I was interested in and wanted to like devote time and my passion to. But yeah, you just learn how all these things intersect. How racial issues completely intersect with work, how gender, sexism, LGBT issues, everything really intersects, and it all comes down to like kind of injustice across the board. And so, yeah, I think in personal education, and I like to think of education as not necessarily schooling, but I found a lot of my more meaningful education has been outside of the classroom. Just learning how all these things are truly connected, and that's why in the spirit of being an activist, always being present and always being friends and always being supportive of other issues that you might not be directly involved in organizing is a very important thing. But yeah, it's interesting. I didn't know when I was like a teenager that I'd be attending protests, like, in support of like Palestine or whatever. I didn't even know what that was. And there's a time, and there's definitely a time where I was like kind of nervous to be that protester that's like chanting. Like for a couple times I would just like be at a protest, but I wouldn't be chanting because I'm like, that's embarrassing. Like people are gonna look at me weird like that. But there's a time where I was like, wait, I'm over that. Like, no, I'm here. I'm gonna be vocal about this. And yeah, I never turned back from that. A lot of my roles in actions is actually leading the march and being the loudest. So obviously that's changed.
I've been thinking about that. Why I personally do this work. There's things, I love the people. I love the struggle. I mean, there is something about it that drives me in the morning. I love my people. I love the way we love each other. I love the way we struggle. I love the historical processes of us as Black people. I love my students. I love the stories I hear, and I know I have a way to help or do something. It's just in me, you know what I mean? And like, I don't get sad about it. I don't get mad about it. I just do it, you know? And I'm not some people in organizing are emotional leaders. There are a lot of people like that, you know, that feel it, usually with women. See, I'm not an emotional leader. I lead by anger, right? And I lead by just pure anger. And I channel that into my work. So I love the struggle. You know what I mean? I love giving people a vehicle to express themselves. The reason why I'm in the work is just like, it's all I know. You know what I mean? It's all I want to do, you know? And it's a really good question. I'm still trying to figure it out, why I do it, because I don't know anything else, you know? That's a really good question. I think we all have to struggle with that as we continue this process of organizing. Because some people get into it because it's cool. You know, oh, I want to do that and this. But some people, this is what we do. This is a lifestyle. You know, this is just it. There's nothing else. Think about that. There's nothing else. You know, I can't see myself doing anything else besides teaching. Teaching revolution. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right on. That's a really good question.